Hey there, welcome back. It's been a minute, but this is my first video of Regulation MB. So I know that everyone seems to hate Malamar or Mega Malamar in particular. So of course I had to build a team around it. And this is a little spicy, of course, what I was building my team around. I actually did a live stream maybe like a week or so ago. And this is the first couple battles I've done since then, and I made an adjustment. I used to have a Sparthrow on the team over Grimmsnarl, but I actually realized that you can actually that Grimmsnarl's Prankster can actually target its own teammate, even if it's a Dark type. So initially I was running fake tears on it to give like a special defense boost potentially to Malamar, but I'm still kind of tweaking the Grimmsnarl moveset. I think Parting Shot I ended up replacing for Fake Tears, and I'm running Fake Out, but I don't even know if I really even need Fake Out on this team. But I guess it does pair up pretty nice for something like Spirit Tomb here, which I am using as a support role with Snarl, Will-O-Wisp, Ally Switch, and Trick Room, of course, to get up that speed reversal. The Rock Slide from Garchomp does flinch me here, which is a little unfortunate. But I am going to go for a Trick Room now instead of just risking the Will-O-Wisp missing. That way I have some value here, get the Trick Room up. I go for Reflect to bulk out my team a bit more. And yeah, I am running a Mega Glamora and Mega Malamar on this team. I wanted to run Steelix and Glamora just to kind of ensure that we have a way to deal with fairy types, because this team does have a pretty big weakness to fairy. But it's not too shabby. At the end of the day, yeah, the Steelix is definitely a little spicy, and even with the Steelix, I'm running Stomping Tantrum right now, but I feel like I didn't really understand. I for some reason I was thinking it worked with Protect, like if someone protects and it fails. I don't think it does though, but yeah, there's a lot of like little mechanics like that I'm just feeling a little rusty and trying to understand the nuance of these interactions a bit better. But yeah, in this situation I am gonna try. I do get the Will-O-Wisp off on Kingambit, which will be huge to nerf its attack, of course. I bring in the Sinistcha just to heal up Spirit Tomb a bit. The Kingambit does end up going for Iron Head. I am assuming just because it was Grimmsnarl and it's super effective, but Sinistcha can tank that with Reflect and the burn on it, and from here I will try to get up a burn on Garchomp as well. And I think I decide to just switch in Malamar here, if I remember correctly. Because I'm like, I don't really need to throw Matcha Gotcha. It's not going to do a crazy amount of damage, and honestly I'm feeling Malamar can just tank these moves, and then I can always bring in Sinistcha again to try to heal it up a bit. So yeah, I'm gonna connect the Will-O-Wisp on Garchomp, which is already like a great start for me in this battle, because two of their physical attackers are now pretty much nerfed, and the Rock Slide doesn't do a lot. Obviously the flinches can still be fairly annoying, but in the Trick Room it's not gonna really matter. So get a little bit of healing up here, and the burns are just doing their thing. And I think what I end up doing is Ally Switch, and then I go for a Superpower into Kingambit here. So yeah, I'm gonna Ally Switch. Honestly, Spirit Tomb felt like the MVP of this team. I mean, granted, being in a blind format like the ladder as well does allow you to kind of run something like Ally Switch, which I don't feel like is that common. You know, I feel like it's one of those moves that you're not really expecting it, but then it happens, and then that's when you start creating mind games with the opponent. So they go for the Kotal Cleave, and Malamar is able to tank it, and I go for the Superpower, which will pretty much remove Kingambit from the field. Doesn't look like they're running a Chople Berry at all. So I get my attack and defense boost from Contrary, which will bulk me out, so now I can even tank these Rock Slides even better. As you can tell, like with the Reflect and the Superpower boost from defense, I'm just sitting here like barely taking any damage. So now, I'm trying to remember what they bring here. Oh yeah, Star Raptor. So they bring in the Star Raptor, and this is a situation where they really can't, now that they know I have Ally Switch, they don't necessarily want to risk close combating Malamar, because they might actually end up targeting Spiritomb here. So I think what I end up doing is I'm going to make a risk play, and I'm just going to go for Psycho Cut into Star Raptor, because I am at +1 attack now. I thought maybe, I honestly don't know the calc. I just figured maybe that will be enough to handle Star Raptor, and I'm going to bring in Sinistra, because I just felt like there's a really good chance they're not just going to target. I don't know, honestly, I just figured it might be worth the risk, and with the Reflect on the field, maybe I could still, I'm thinking I could still take the Brave Bird. So they do end up using Protect, which makes sense, and they go for Earthquake. And it doesn't really matter because it's not really going to do much. I mean, it's minuscule damage, especially for the Sinistra being a grass type. So from here, the dimensions return to normal. And now I have to really think, like, what do I want to do here? I decided to just go for the Psycho Cut still. And go for... I think I decided to go for a Trick Room. Oh, do I switch out here? I feel like I was thinking about bringing Grimmsnarl, the Sackett, if they did decide to Brave Bird Sinistra's slot. But then I thought about it more, and I was thinking... I feel like Star Raptor has to, like, choose, and it's probably not going to be able to just remove something. I was fairly confident I could live a Brave Bird when it's at neutral attack. So I decided to just go for the Trick Room and hope I don't get flinched by the Rock Slide. And they end up going for Brave Bird into Malamar, which isn't a bad idea. But because of my defense boost plus Reflect, I am able to eat that rather well. I go for the Psycho Cut, and it does just remove Star Raptor from the field. So that's huge. Goodbye. And I don't know if the recoil damage mattered at all. But I do get up Trick Room, which pretty much is going to ensure I have like a pretty good position to sweep here, and my opponent does forfeit. So that is a GG. Honestly, I don't feel like Malamar is that bad. I mean, I feel like all the Pokemon people were saying, I don't know, this is something I've noticed, at least during Champions. It feels like the Pokemon, or even like during Scarlet and Violet, everyone thought Miraidon was going to be bad before the regulations came out, and then end up being like one of the best Pokemon, because it just seems so one-dimensional to a lot of people on paper. But like Mega Sceptile, like this, like I get it, like everyone wants to run Star Raptor or something, and like they are good picks, but I just feel like people kind of underestimate how you can really support a team in Pokemon. It's one of the competitive games that you can just truly build around a certain playstyle at times and find like a niche way to make something work. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Malamar is like top tier or like, you know, you should run this. I just feel like people were really dramatic about how much they disliked this Pokemon. And I will admit that when I'm playing this team, there's times where I get tunnel visioned and I want to run Malamar, and it's probably more optimal to just bring Glamora. But I mean, that's a part of trying to flesh out the team here. I don't know if, like I was saying at the beginning, I'm still kind of like trying to figure out what movesets and such I really want to run on this team. But yeah, I mean, I just threw this together day one when I started playing, and then just kind of figured it out as I was going. And in this batch, I decided to just go for Fake Out into Excadrill. I mean, they could double Protect here. That's usually like a pretty safe play turn one. But they actually don't. And I do Superpower in the T-Tar. It could have been Mega, it could have been Focus Sash, but it is actually Choppleberry. So we'll allow it to tank the Superpower here. But that does give me a nice defense boost, which will be significant in this match overall. They go for a knockoff in the Malamar, which I don't feel like is the optimal play considering it's a Mega Stone. But yeah, whatever. Now I'm going to go for Reflect to bulk out my team more, and I'm just going to go for the Superpower into Excadrill. I'm not really worried about the damage that Tyranitar might try to accrue after this. Because with the Reflect and my defenses, as long as I don't get flinched, my defense is just going to continue to go up here. And they end up just going for Iron Head into Grim. I guess like really trying to take care of this Grimmsnarl, they want to remove it. And I'm just going to one-shot this Excadrill. And then now, because I broke Sash with Fake Out, which, you know, I should have presumed that it's probably Focus Sash, Excadrill. But, you know, it could be a Mega. I mean, but to be fair, usually when you see this duo together, it's going to be a Sandrush, Focus Sash, Excadrill. And yeah, already like, kind of just like, really taking care of this person, not really too threatened. I'm gonna probably, you know, here I probably could have just gone for the Light Screen to bulk out my team more against Glimmora. But I was also thinking this could be a good opportunity for me to just heal up my Malamar a bit with Hospitality, and I was just confident that Glimmora wasn't gonna one-shot my Malamar regardless. And I could more than likely just one-shot it with my +2 attack. I mean, can't imagine this won't one-shot being super effective. So the Glimmora does go for Sludge Bomb, I guess just to get rid of Grimmsnarl in case the Rock Slide would miss. And yeah, I completely remove Glimmora, and Sinistcha does end up just surviving. So that's really good. And then they end up going for Low Kick, which I don't know, honestly. Like, definitely not going to do much, especially with my typing and my defense boost. In comes Corviknight, and normally something like Corviknight could be fairly annoying for a physical attacker. But I think the funny thing about Malamar is that it's also bulking up against Corviknight while it's actually gaining attack each time it just goes on the offense. So I already almost do half the damage there immediately. And I'm going to bulk out more, and I get an attack boost. So between that and this little chip damage from Matcha Gotcha on the Corviknight, I am pretty much ensuring that I get the next knockout on Corviknight with Superpower. And Corviknight will go for a Body Press into Malamar, and as you can see, it's going to pretty much do nothing. And yeah, at this point, Ice Punch comes in, and yeah, it doesn't really do much. I mean, I'm not really too worried about this T-Tar. I'm going to go for the Matcha Gotcha on the following turn to get rid of Tyranitar. And I will go for Sleep Powder as... I mean, Super Power, not Sleep Powder. I don't even have Sleep Powder on the team. Sorry, I'm like... It's a little early here, and I'm just trying to get back in the groove of things. So yeah, if you're watching this, definitely consider subscribing to my channel. I am trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and all your interactions and view time and likes really help out my video, and I appreciate you being here. So anyways, yeah, that pretty much removes Corviknight and Tyranitar, like I said. And at this point, it's pretty much game over. I mean, there's really nothing they could do. Yeah, GG's. So, next battle. Okay, so I decided to switch it up in this one. I mean, Glimmora just looks so freaking good here. I mean, granted, the main thing I have to watch out for is probably just the, I mean, I guess Farigiraf could have a Psychic move. They don't really typically are, you know, even if they do run Psychic, they're not really built offensively most of the time. Melodic could be a little problematic as well, but I'm not, like, too concerned about it. They end up leading Farigiraf and Incineroar, and I decided to just straight up lead Grimmsnarl plus Steelix, thinking maybe they'll lead Sylveon. I don't know, I just had a feeling they might try to. So I just go for Crunch immediately into Farigiraf, and obviously Intimidate will weaken me a bit. This is a Sheer Force Light Orb Steelix, very spicy. But honestly, I've been really enjoying it on the team. I don't know, I might switch out the ground move for High Horsepower over Stomping Tantrum. I could run even Earthquake, but I don't really run Protect on everything on the team, so I don't know if it's necessarily worth running Earthquake. But yeah, they actually go for Helping Hand Flame. I mean, Flare Blitz turn 1, which I wasn't really expecting, so I went for a Light Screen thinking they might try to Dazzling Gleam me or whatever and Fake Out. But yeah, that was caught me off guard. So I'm going to go for the Reflect here, and I'm going to switch out Steelix to preserve it. And I'm going to bring in Glimmora immediately. And part of me was hoping they would go for Flare Blitz again into Glimmora to activate my toxic spikes on the field. But they end up going for taunt into Grimmsnarl, and then there's a Dazzling Gleam if I remember correctly. This is actually kind of on me. So right now my Grimmsnarl is gonna struggle if I press fight, but I kept forgetting that if you press fight, it automatically just, if you have no options, yeah, see how it just automatically locked in. So I kind of I didn't want to Mega yet with Glimmora to see if it would activate my spikes, and I got so freaking lucky with the struggle here that it actually targeted Farigiraf because it lived with 1 HP, and I actually knock it out. I don't know. It almost seemed like I did this intentionally, but you can't guarantee what target struggle will actually hit on the field. So it is a little unfortunate, but in comes Sylveon, and in comes Incineroar again. And again, I made that mistake. I accidentally pressed fight the last turn, and I end up doing it again here. So I'm like trying to bait, like, do I want to Mega yet? And I'm like, no, I want to actually have it fake me out. So it does fake me out, which I'm very thankful for, and it sets up Toxic Debris. I mean, I didn't really need to do this, but I just figured I'm probably not going to attack anyways. I might as well get some free Toxic Spikes on the field. Struggle goes off, and honestly, I guess it doesn't matter that much. I'm just kind of sacking Grimmsnarl. In a way, this is maybe even the more optimal play. And like, it almost seems like this was very intentional on me. I swear it was just an accident. But when I look at how things were being played out here, I'm like, you know what? That actually probably was the best call. Because now you can just bring in Steelix here. And I'm going to switch in Sinistcha to heal up. And I'm going to target Sylveon. Because between my screens on the field, I should be able to take Flare Blitz now. Potentially. And then they end up parting shotting out into Steelix. And then they end up going for a Mystic Fire, actually, with their Sylveon into Steelix. And they bring out Meowscarada, which I wasn't expecting, but I don't think it really matters. It could be a little annoying, depending on what moves they're running. I have no idea. But Mystic Fire will be able to take out Steelix, unfortunately. Definitely not going to be taking a special attack like that too great. But, I mean, the fact I got some poison off, and I'm thinking about it, I'm like, well, honestly, Glimmora kind of, like, does a great job at the rest of the team. So at this point, I'm going to try to set up a Trick Room. I'm thinking, actually, it doesn't, I don't know why I tried to go for Trick Room here. It honestly isn't really even needed. But, yeah, I go for the Trick Room, and I Mega Evolve Glimmora, and I'm going to go for a Sludge Bomb into Sylveon. So the beautiful thing about this is adaptability. They go for Sucker Punch. I guess that's maybe the only dark move they're running. I have no idea, but yeah, it doesn't do anything because they target Sinistcha. Sludge Bomb just one-shot Sylveon. I was actually kind of surprised by that, but I mean, maybe it's a matter of how the Sylveon's built. This is the first time I've ever done a team with Mega Glimmora, and I'm not too keen on the like matchups and damage calcs and all that. But yeah, now both of their Pokemon are sitting on the field poisoned, and there isn't really much that I have to worry about. I'm gonna go for a Strength Sap into a Incineroar to further neutralize it, and I'm gonna go for a Spiky Shield on the off chance they want to target Glimmora here. Meowscarada does go for another Sucker Punch, and I'm thinking maybe that's like a choice. I have no idea, if I'm being honest. I have no idea what the move is on Meowscarada, but it goes for the Flare Blitz. It does get a burn. It will activate my Citrus Berry, which, you know, burn doesn't matter at all here. But using Strength Sap is just going to completely neutralize Incineroar. There's really not going to be much Incineroar can do the rest of the battle because of that. And I get a bunch of health back, so I think at this point my opponent just realizes there's really nothing they're going to be able to do. Glimmora is just going to be able to chip away in like 2 turns and pretty much complete the battle. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Thanks for swinging by, and with that being said, the Sass Squad's getting stronger each and every day. Good morning, evening, afternoon, we're tuning in. I'll catch you in the next one.